You shower in the rain.
Highly recommend doing it if you haven't already. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're actually right. You're actually right.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
If you want to get me some Nikes in the Metaverse, I'm not going to stop you. Tell us about the creeps, Diego.
And I represent all of them.
Oh, God. Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Diego.
And welcome to the Superist podcast. We're going to be talking about what's hot and what's not in the world of digital. So if you listen to our first episode on NFTs, firstly, thank you. Look, it was our first episode, so hopefully we're only going to get better from.
If you haven't, then don't bother. Just start with this one.
Don't say that. Actually, it's worth listening to because today we're talking about the Metaverse, and our first podcast was on NFTs, and they're very, very interlinked. So, I'm looking forward to today's episode. So, just to kick it off, what is the Metaverse, Diego?
Yeah, that's a good question, Lisa. You said that you wanted to talk about it, so what is it? Explain to everyone who's listening.
I will politely phone a friend, and that friend will be you. So you can tell our audience what the Metaverse is.
Okay, well, the Metaverse, the Metaverse, the Metaverse, as you know, and I'm gonna say it as I understand it. The Metaverse is basically this version of the internet where we're actually almost physically being present in the Metaverse. We're being introduced to the world of the internet. Let's say if the internet is a 2D manifestation on our screens today, the Metaverse would be this 3D sort of like all encompassing sort of like ever expanding universe.
Oh, that's a very I would say that's a pretty good definition of the Metaverse. Well done.
You see, Mark Zuckerberg, take notes. Take notes. That's how you introduce the Metaverse.
I think we can just end the podcast here now. Interestingly, so the word Metaverse came from a novel called Snow Crash.
Oh, don't do it. Just because I was going to ask you about that. I knew it. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Well, yeah. Go. Just ruin one. Let me just cross one of my questions here.
You can still get that one.
Q&A. No, go. So let me, who's Neil Stephenson? Lisa?
Oh, good one. I'm glad you asked because that's one of the few things. So he wrote a book called Snow Crash, and he actually coined the term metaverse. So that's where it came from. So metaverse is made up of two words, meta, which means beyond, and verse, which is short for universe. And in this book, it was a world where people existed through avatars. So say, for example, I think this is actually probably one of the interesting examples of the concept of metaverse. And this actually came because I watched the Mark Zuckerberg presentation when Facebook recently renamed to Meta, which is obviously his big play at the metaverse. So I would have loved to have owned the domain name meta.com and had Mark Zuckerberg be like, hey, can I buy this?
Apparently there were some legal battles about it.
Yeah, interesting.
As far as I've heard.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But he was talking about this concept of where you can work in this kind of 3D world, as you put it. But you and I, we're on the opposite side of the world, but we actually work for this global agency group. So imagine, like, you're obviously in your office in Brazil. And
it's called Superist. Superist.com.
The name of this podcast. But say you're in your office in Brazil and I'm in my office in Australia. So, if we were in the metaverse, we could actually be in the same office. And we could actually be sitting next to each other. And I mean, I wouldn't sit next to you because it'd be really distracting, but you can almost go to meetings, and it's actually quite incredible. And I think because of the pandemic, it's really accelerated that concept of living almost in a virtual world. Because think about how many meetings you went to via Zoom, and it's you're looking at it, like you said, in this 2D atmosphere. And it's very different to, say, being in potentially a room where you're hearing someone who's sitting next to you in the metaverse, but the sound is coming as if they're sitting next to you. Because as humans, we're not, trained to interact just in this 2D environment with other humans. So the metaverse, because I think people are very scared that this concept of the metaverse is going to ruin society and how we associate with other humans. But in a way, what I've heard is that it's actually going to elevate it. And it means that now you and I could actually work in the same office, even though we're on the other side of the world, which is actually pretty incredible.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is. It is. And I think that the applications for it as well, when it comes to everything else, I mean, like medicine for, you know, um, business, for retail, for, for everything, it's just so exciting. And, as we were talking about it, last time that we spoke, we are already sort of like living already virtual lives with social media presence and focus that we have today. We spend an average of 8 hours a day on the internet. Considering we sleep 8 hours and the other hours we do, eating and other stuff, basic necessities. So you know, and yeah, it's pretty. That there's this image that goes around a lot, which is Mark Zuckerberg walking down an aisle and everyone wearing Oculus. Have you seen it? And
No.
it's this like he topics are like really weird, kind of like I don't know. But yeah, and as far as I've heard, a lot of companies have already kind of like started adopting, and knowing that this is going to be undeniably the future of not only digital but the future of life almost itself. Do you think that the metaverse or Meta? Let's talk about Meta for a second, the company. Um, do you think it's where the company was headed anyways, or do you think it was a desperate need for since Facebook was falling from grace, something that they needed to change even when it came to branding and stuff?
I think that's a really interesting question. I know that Mark Zuckerberg, so I was listening to an interview with him recently and he was talking about how he was, when he was a kid, he was already thinking of the concept of the metaverse and he saw that that was the future of technology. But I think that Facebook definitely have neglected their younger demographic without a doubt. Like Facebook is not cool at all. And I think this is something that they want to do to try and win back the younger demographic. I don't know if it's going to work. I read this great article recently, which was talking about the fact that Facebook have invested obviously a lot into Oculus. So for those that who don't know, Oculus is like a virtual reality headset, but it's really clunky and it's really, it's not sexy at all. It's pretty ugly, to be honest. So it's not like you're wanting to wear that around. So they were saying, this article was saying that it would take a company like Apple potentially, who do really sleek modern products. Like look what they've done with AirPods, like everyone's sort of walking around now with these kind of wireless things in their ears. But it would take a company like that to potentially make VR and adoption of entering the metaverse a lot more mainstream. So I don't know that you're a massive fan of Apple.
Yeah, well, so Steve Jobs is gone. He said, "Get on with it." But did you see that? They actually it was mentioned. I saw somewhere that they said that Apple glasses were going to be the main substitute for iPhones in 10 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
actually
wearables,
crazy.
wearables are the new thing, like like the Apple Watch and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's interesting to think of that.
It's even more sophisticated, like the technology that's available now. And I don't know how long it's going to take to go mainstream because obviously a lot of this tech is expensive. So, I think one thing about, companies like Apple is they've sort of at least made it affordable for a mainstream consumer. But there's things where you can put on gloves and say you're in the metaverse and we're in the office. You can pick up a pencil as if you're in the metaverse, but it feels like you're picking up a pencil. And there was another one that I was listening to where you can put on a full suit. I don't know if it's like the Tesla suit or something. And imagine like they've got these realities where you can go out and it's raining and they've just got randomly generated rain and it feels like the rain's hitting your body, which is
That's insane,
insane.
isn't it? Yeah.
And our brains are so crazy that like this guy was saying that he was experiencing this, like he was standing in, a rain shower and he could feel the rain and it tricked his brain and he started smelling that smell, like, when it's like that amazing smell of like post a shower, a rain, post the rain. Can't even talk. So when it rains, like the smell of the ground. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Like, oh, finally it's raining. Jesus Christ! And then you get like your scrub, your like yourself, and you go out.
I highly recommend it if you haven't already. But that, you know, that amazing smell when it's like there's been rain. His brain was tricked into smelling that because he was looking at rain, he was kind of feeling rain, and then he started to smell it, like, which is like insane, like how your brain can kind of start to get different triggers from different senses, and then almost experience senses that aren't actually happening in real. So that's
insane, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's like the technology that it is at now. And the guy was saying, actually, that I was listening to, he said that the current state of technology at the moment is, if we're looking at it compared to technology of phones, we're just pre-iPhone. So there's just an incredible amount of technology development still to come, and it will happen quickly because the rate of development of technology is significantly faster than it was when we were developing like the internet and the iPhone and things like that.
Yeah, and the adoption for this kind of stuff just exponentially increases, right? Like if we take into consideration, say, the internet versus cryptocurrencies were more, like, let's say, fully embedded in society, or growing into being embedded into society than the internet ever was. So and the interesting thing as well about this kind of stuff is that it's like it's not just Facebook, right? It's a bunch of like the main world leading companies today. Microsoft itself, with Microsoft Mesh, where they're working on extended reality. A lot of companies really invest in this kind of stuff, and it always, as the internet itself, when you think about bodysuits and gloves and stuff that you can feel, it inevitably leads to the creeps and
like you.
And I represent all of them here on this call.
Tell us about the creeps.
I'm representing.
Tell us about the creeps, Diego.
You do have to think about all the possible usage of such technology.
What are you saying? What are the possible uses of this technology?
They're endless. They're just endless. Yeah. I mean, you can feel
what
stuff.
What are the creeps going to be using this technology for?
The same thing that they use the internet for. Let's be honest here for a second, okay? The internet.
What did they use the internet for? Research.
I think we need another podcast for that one, but just talking about
the after dark version.
But let's say, for instance, the metaverse, and talking about business itself, because there are certain trends, and the amazing thing is that you cannot isolate these trends because they're all so intertwined, they're so interconnected. It's just insane. They all are part of the same sort of like digital revolution that we're going through now. Social commerce in itself. You see your favorite influencer wearing a dress, and you're in a metaverse, literally with gloves like that. You can feel the kind of, the cloth. You can feel the material of the dress in itself. You can see how elastic it is. There are just so many, like, literally there are so many things. You can see how it fits you. It's just absolutely insane, and it's all connected. And then if you think that that dress can be an NFT, and you think that it's within the metaverse, and you can buy it with cryptocurrencies and blah blah blah, it's just boom, it's just insane.
But also, I think, look at, say, I'm going to use Nike again because I love Nike. Can Nike sponsor me, seriously? But I look at, say, because I sort of think of Nike, so Nike have entered the metaverse and they've partnered with Roblox, which is a game targeting younger kids. So I think of Nike like Disneyland. So if you can go to Disneyland and you can go on the rides and have a good time, but you can only go to Disneyland if you're physically in the country where Disneyland is. Whereas Nike Land, anybody around the world can all of a sudden go to Nike Land. So from a brand perspective, you suddenly have significant amount of reach for, like, say that I don't even want to think of the cost of a build of a Disneyland, but all of a sudden you're now building something which can be not only seen and visited by millions of people, but it's significantly, like, from a cost perspective, like, you don't have to worry about necessarily like repairs or replacing whole roller coasters. It's probably safer. Like, you don't have to worry about people like dying on rides or anything like that. So
And imagine what you can sell within that journey. Or imagine, like the power of people
exactly.
bringing other people on board, like immediately, like that, sending you a message and saying, I'm not on this like sick ride or whatever, like come and join me,
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, if you want to get me some Nikes in the metaverse, I'm not going to
Didn't
stop
you
you.
say that you like Adidas
But
more?
no, thanks.
But what I was gonna say as well about that kind of stuff is, in the last, I don't know if it's the last year or 2 years, it's something like that, but we've produced more data than we have in our entire existence as human beings, right, on this planet. So like, imagine a universe that is forever expanding with UGC, user generated content, right? And you have the power of doing that, and it's pretty much the concept of social media, right? Facebook doesn't create content, we create content.
Yeah.
Instagram doesn't create content, we do, right? So it's like, it's this insane thing that it's just the potential of expansion is insane. And again, the
Virality.
virality. There you go. Thank you. By the way, English is not my first language, in case you haven't noticed yet.
You're doing really
But
well.
yeah, viralidade. There you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had some classes before this. So basically, so so basically, yeah, the potential of going viral. There you go. Is insane. And the metaverse is heavily dependent on user generated content, right? It really is. Like, it really is.
I think as well, like people are already getting jobs in the metaverse, which is so weird. And, this podcast I was listening to, they were saying that soon or eventually that metaverse economy is going to be bigger than the real world economy because so much is going to be happening there. So say, for example, if you've got a shop in the metaverse, now you can earn money if you're like working in the shop. And you can be anywhere in the world working in the metaverse, and you could be like on an island or something. Like, it's actually pretty incredible. And there's been some amazing brand activations already with the metaverse. We've obviously spoken about a few, but I definitely feel like gaming's leading the space, as much as I hate to say it. So games like Fortnite. What is Fortnite? I still actually don't know what Fortnite is.
Fortnite. Okay, so actually the main concept, the main actively, like the main examples that we have for the metaverse happening today are basically gaming platforms, right?
Yep.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, people can hate on gaming as much as they want, but at the end of the day, like, join or die.
God. You heard it here first.
The main platforms today. Yeah, there you go. That's a movement. It's a threat. But like, basically, Fortnite, Minecraft. Have you ever heard of Minecraft?
I'm not a gamer. So okay. What is Fortnite?
Okay.
What is Fortnite?
It's pretty much a battle royale sort of like game. So Fortnite had Ariana Grande.
Yep.
Right, or an artist doing a show where it was an immersive experience within the game, and honestly, it was impressive. I don't play Fortnite. I have played it on my mobile. I'm not an avid player, but I honestly think it was incredibly well done. And it's the kind of experience that, again, you're uniting fronts there that are, you're going to see that there's a pattern. And you are a specialist in this regard, but like influencers, right? How powerful influencers are in spaces like this. Especially now, imagine this, like, let's say I love The Weeknd, right? I'll never in a lifetime get a chance to meet The Weeknd, but I might meet The Weeknd on the metaverse. Like I might, like, it's going to be his avatar, but I might actually interact with him as I would interact with the brand in a way that I wouldn't be able to do so today.
But also, you could go to a concert in the metaverse of The Weeknd, and I could be next to you in the
and jump on stage.
But you can experience it together, like, with someone on the other side of the world.
Do you think that the metaverse will have a meta police?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there'd have to be just to keep control of creeps like you, for sure.
No, I was gonna say, just imagine, like, because today, if you take already what exists, and you do have, best, let's say, there are terms and conditions within these platforms. There are, like a lot of the things that we see today, we most probably, and from what I've read, you will see on the metaverse, which is literally like scoring, like a social almost scoring. Like how you interact with these platforms, how you generate content, how and everything else, which is it's a little bit scary.
It's exciting. I think a lot of brands have already jumped on. So that's actually how I learned about Fortnite, because they did a collaboration with Balenciaga. So they had these amazing, I think, NFTs. So NFTs are actually a really good gateway for brands into the metaverse. And we're seeing from a marketing perspective, brands that haven't jumped fully into the metaverse yet are using NFTs as a way to get in there. So Balenciaga and Fortnite collaborated on a range of clothes, and your avatar on Fortnite, the game, could be wearing this like Balenciaga line, and then you could actually go to the real Balenciaga store and buy the same item of clothing. So you're wearing the same item of clothing as your avatar. And they had these digital billboards all around the world showcasing the collection. So it was actually super cool to really see that jump. And I would say high fashion brands like Gucci and things like that have really jumped on board early into the space. Like they're already, Gucci did Gucci Garden, and like, LV have done activations in the metaverse. So, I think they're one of the actually early adopters of getting into the metaverse. But from a brand perspective, actually, I guess from a brand perspective, what do you think it's important to know if you're going to look at activating in the metaverse?
That's a really good question. I think, and this is the thing. It's a different reality. I think Mark Zuckerberg himself said that he thinks it will take about 10 years from now for the metaverse to be showing its real potential. So it's not something like that. There's a lot of things how we almost like the Matrix. And Nisa can talk about the Matrix. She's the proud owner of some Matrix NFTs. But almost like the Matrix, how do we phase out from reality into the metaverse? How is it going to be? Is it going to be, you go into your dark room and you get your Oculus on, or is it going to be something like so seamless, right? Like you have your Apple wearable on.
I don't want to know what you're doing in your dark room with your buddy in your
imagine. But this is the thing, because the metaverse is not necessarily like this fully immersive experience, right? It comes in both AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, right? So augmented reality is actually a gigantic bet for these brands, because it's a good mix between, or as Microsoft Mesh is working, a big mix between physical reality and the virtual reality, right? So I've seen some incredible concepts about it. It's just insane. It's unbelievable, and it's actually, like, in my opinion, it improves so much the way that we consume things, because it's literally like you don't have to go to a store to go and try some shoes on. Like, literally, you have augmented reality and you see how the shoes are going to look on your feet, right? It's just insane, and it's just absolutely amazing. And how these brands are going to interact with it is pretty much, I think, that we've gotten to a point, and through COVID, brands quickly realized that digital is here to stay. Right.
This is the beginning, and I think brands like Facebook jumping on board and declaring that they're going to invest $10 billion into building it out means that it's definitely going to be mainstream sooner rather than later. So if you want to know more, have a look at what brands like The Sandbox are doing, Decentraland. These are all metaverse companies that have already been building out. So yeah, I think that's all we have time for.
All right, no. I want to finish this with Q&A. If anyone heard the first,
I'm pretty sure that's all we have time for.
No. I'm pretty sure that we still have some time. So let's go. Okay. All right. So everyone's excited for this part. I am. I know I am. Okay. So let's start.
I'm not.
Let's start with an easy one.
So this is going to be a metaverse. Is this a metaverse slang quiz? So if you want to listen to someone failing really hard at life, make sure you go and listen to episode 1. At the end, I gave Diego a slang quiz on NFT terms, and he failed miserably. So
It wasn't me. It was
Did it,
someone else.
Diego?
Sounded just like me. Anyways,
Avatar.
yeah, an avatar. It was an AI. Okay, so what is the Web 3.0?
Oh God. Okay. So web. Oh shit! I actually literally just read this the other day. So it's the thing that comes after Web 2.0.
Great! Wow, it's actually Web 2.9.
So Web 2.0 is where you've got things that are like the internet and social media, and then feel free to jump in and save me anytime.
No, you're doing great.
Like creator economy. Next question.
Wow, you're actually right.
This,
You're actually right.
Oh, I'm not.
No, you're not.
Please save me from my misery.
No, you're not.
Please, when we're editing, David, when you're editing this, just insert me saying the right answer to all these questions.
David, I don't know you, but don't do it.
When you're editing this, just insert me saying the right answer to all these questions. What he said.
So that was the easy one, okay?
Oh, shit. No.
Okay,
Oh,
all right. Okay, you ready? I think you're gonna know this one.
No.
I think you're gonna know this one. You
Oh, no.
have to know this one. I mean, you're presenting a podcast about it, for God's sake. I mean,
Is it Metaverse?
No. No. What is a sandbox?
Ooh, a Metaverse.
Okay. Okay.
Like a virtual world where you can buy land and build things. So Adidas actually just bought some land in the Metaverse, and I think they're selling land with NFTs. Like you can buy land through NFTs and stuff. Is that right? Did I get
Awesome.
a point?
Yeah, that's right. You actually mentioned sandbox, the central land, right?
Okay, great. 10 points for that one.
Okay. 1 point.
So tight with the points. Why?
Well, it is one per right question. So, okay, what is a mirror world?
Oh God, I don't know. A place that looks like the real world, that mirrors the real world.
That is right. And can you give an example of a good example of what a mirror world would look like?
Oh my God, is that the answer? Like Decentraland?
No, you just bought an NFT from them.
The Matrix.
Yes. So you know how the Matrix has two realities, a virtual and a real one, but these realities sort of like are mirror realities, right? And people that are mirrored within realities and things are connected. So that's what a mirror world is. It's pretty much a copy of the physical world in the metaverse. There you go, an easy one.
Yeah, really easy.
Okay, awesome. So last question. Are you ready?
Ooh.
This is the question that will define, Lisa.
Oh,
How well do you know the metaverse? Okay.
I'm scared.
What is the Zuck?
As in like Mark Zuckerberg?
Yes. There you go. Done.
Is that 100 points?
That is a half a point. But the Zuck is the beloved creative of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. You know, it's really funny. He actually did a live once on Facebook when they first released Facebook Live or something like that. And he was taking questions, and then people were just asking him, Zuck, what is a Zuck? Like Zuck. And he literally asked, like, I don't know what the Zuck is.
God.
I love that, man.
He's a very interesting person.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, thank you for that quiz. I feel like I got pretty much all the answers right.
No, you got 2.5. So you pretty much lost from the. I had 3. You had 2.5. Yeah, but this was fun.
But thank you so much for the chat. Loved it. If you like what you've heard, please make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button and you give us a rating and review. Let Diego know how good his glasses look. I think they're actually fake because he's trying to look smart.
They're hollow.
It's not working, unfortunately, for him. But stay tuned because we've got some amazing guests. So we're going to be talking all things digital over the coming weeks. So yeah, don't miss out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.